Diffuse reflection of radiation, concept and insights. The term diffuse refers to the fusion and reflection of radiation, indicating that the electromagnetic wavefronts are reflected from the point of the incident ray. The diffuse reflection of radiation in total signifies that the ray of light is reflected into several other angles in the same medium when a source of incident ray strikes the rough surface. The surface on which the radiation waves get reflected will not depend on the angle of the incident ray, and it is known as diffuse surface, and the reason for diverging rays is non-parallel rays and the rough surface. Examples of diffuse reflection of radiation are a reflection from rough streets, textbook reading, bicycle reflectors. What is a diffuse reflection of radiation? Diffuse reflection of radiation is an important physical phenomenon. It is an essential reflection of light rays produced from the rough surface. The incident ray strikes the uneven dots and scatters into many reflected rays that can observe at different angles in the same medium. Now let us focus on the difference between the regular and diffused radiation reflection. Mention the primary differences between regular reflection and diffuse reflection. The essential fundamental differences between the regular and diffuse reflection of radiation are as follows. Parameters to define regular/specular reflection, irregular/diffused reflection, nature of surface, soft or smooth surface, a hard or rough surface, angle of reflection, parallel, single reflection, light reflection at different angles, nature of reflection, clear images, blur, reflective images. Examples: sun, microscopes, telescopes, and bulb camera. It's time to know the cause for what is diffuse reflection of radiation. What is the leading cause for diffuse reflection to occur? The primary and vital cause for any diffused radiation reflection is the presence of uneven surfaces. Almost all the material we use in daily life contains some minor irregular imperfections on the surfaces. When a beam of parallel rays focuses on these uneven surfaces, the light travels back in many other directions, which helps produce reflective images. Therefore, these reflected rays at different angles combine to produce the required reflective image. Examples of diffuse reflection of radiation. The crucial examples of what is a diffuse reflection of radiation in our daily life are mentioned below. Reading a newspaper or book, driving on a wet road, reflection from clothing, reflection from paper. Reading a newspaper or book. The primary example of what is a diffuse reflection of radiation is reading a newspaper or any book. As we start to read text, its images are seen on the retina of our eyes, and at the same time, the light gets reflected from us. Here, both the rays diffuse and help in reading by not producing our image on the book. Driving on a wet road. When driving a car at night, and if the road is wet due to heavy rain, it becomes difficult to see the clear road. It happens because the light gets reflected the surface of the road into many different angles, forming a blur reflective image that will be not visible to the driver, making him drive in difficulty. Reflection from clothing. When a light ray falls on a cloth, the reflection produced from it will not be clear because the surface of the cloth contains some irregular or uneven surface that makes the light reflect at many angles, making the image diffuse. It is a primary example of what is a diffuse reflection of radiation. Reflection from paper. The surface of any paper will be somewhat rough and possess a higher degree of diffusion of light. If any ray of light falls on the paper, it will be filtered by some irregularities and diverges from many directions, making the image unclear. How can diffused reflection be useful for us in real life? The diffuse reflection of radiation can be constructive in human life, without which most probably we couldn't have the ability to see things. The essential aspects of diffused reflection of radiation are: without the help of diffused reflection phenomenon, there would be no use of mirrors and cameras, help us to capture beautiful moments. It is every creature's primary and essential ability that helps us see our beautiful surroundings. Apart from light tubes and the sun, all the things we can see are because of the diffused radiation reflection. Frequently asked questions on diffused reflection of radiation, FAQs. What do you mean by reflection? The primary example where we observe reflection is a mirror. It is an essential physical phenomenon without which we could not see the images of one another. It is a phenomenon in which the incident wavefront of light strikes at a point, changes its direction at a certain angle, and comes back to the same media from which it is made to strike the interface of the medium. What are the different types of reflection in physics? There are mainly three essential types of reflection processes we study in physics. They are specular reflection or regular reflection process, diffused reflection or irregular reflection process, multiple reflection process. Is irregular and diffused reflection the same? Irregular diffusion is the other term used to refer to diffused reflection. In general, diffused reflection occurs on a rough or hard surface. It is a physical phenomenon that occurs when parallel light rays pass and hit a point and reflect into the same medium in many other directions. It sometimes produces blurry images. Can we say that diffuse reflection refers to the failure of laws of reflection? Diffused radiation reflection does not refer to the failure of laws of reflection. We know that diffused radiation reflection is also referred to as irregular reflection. The main feature of this diffused reflection is that it gets reflected from the rough surface and contains irregularities. However, the incident light gets reflected when it strikes at a particular point. So, it violate the laws of reflection in almost all cases except some. Why does the diffuse reflection phenomenon fail to produce the reflective images? The diffuse reflection of the radiation phenomenon produces reflective images of low quality that can signify the failure to produce reflective images. The uneven surface that makes the parallel beam of light reflected in many other directions reduces the quality of reflective images that makes it appear to blur. We can indicate that diffuse reflection fails to produce proper reflective images from this fact. How can you differ from diffuse reflection from specular reflection? The main difference between the two essential types of reflection lies in the surface from which it is produced. Both regular, specular, and irregular, diffused, radiation reflections reflect two different surfaces. First, the surface must be soft with no uneven dots for a specular reflection to occur. For a diffuse reflection to occur, the surface must contain uneven dots that make the incident light travel into other directions. Please visit our website lambdageeks.com for more articles on technology, engineering, mathematics, and various other domains. Scientific calculator and many more other tools.